Yaakov, how are you?
I'm well, Flatty. How are you doing?
Look good. Okay, I'm just saying you're looking good. Okay, good.
Oh, thanks. Sorry, I didn't catch that.
No problem. Okay, cool. So thank you for doing this. And I'm just going to go through a few questions for the benefit of people who are um, that would benefit from the experience of somebody who just finished the program. When did you finish the program?
Maybe been not even 2 weeks ago, so about middle of October.
Okay, good. And you have been trading for a little bit. Any plans to go to live trading in a month or two or like in the future?
Yeah, at some point in the future, I do plan on doing some options trading.
Okay, got it.
Not tomorrow, but soon, hopefully.
Right. I know you have a kind of a special circumstance, so I understand. So all good. Okay, so first question is, what is your biggest hesitation before joining the mentorship? Like, so if you
Uh,
remember back a few months ago before you go into the program, what was your biggest hesitation?
um, just trying to find somebody who I felt I could trust that was being an honest mentor, basically, to teach us because I felt like there was a lot of not trustworthy people out there, people wanting just to take your money and maybe not really giving you a real education and real mentorship.
Okay, and how do you feel about it now? Like after
Um, I think actually you're a great teacher overall. I think that you really try to give your time to the students that you're teaching and you try to make the best effort to make sure they're attending the classes, that they're doing the work, that if they're having some trouble in like, some certain types of technical side of things or understanding something about the app, you focus on that particular item for them and try to make sure they come along in that area and get a proper, understanding of the situations.
okay, and second question, what specific results did you achieve in the 12 weeks? If there are two or three things
Um,
that you say that you achieved in the last 12 weeks.
I think that you gave some good understanding of technical analysis. You laid out what a long-term good stock looks like and what a good investment stock looks like for your strategy, and gave me a better understanding of what different types of option trading there are out there.
Okay. And how has this impacted your confidence?
Definitely just created more. Um, Understanding of what options really are. So that way I could look at what's going on with the charts and what's going on with the different options that I'm looking at, and hopefully making better decisions when it comes to investing.
Okay. Third question, what was the most valuable lesson you learned that made a difference in your investment journey?
Let's see, the most valuable lesson I think I learned really was better technical analysis, basically, of stocks just in general. It helped to add to base knowledge that I had and added a different layer of understanding and investment strategy.
Okay. Options is quite a complex topic. How did this program simplify options investing?
Um, it broke down a lot of what the different indicators are, the different ways to analyze a stock. It helped give you some chart reading abilities. It also helped give you some education about terminologies that were good.
Okay. Usually people are a little bit confused in the first few weeks because there's a lot that is being thrown at them. Which week people like sometimes people think at a certain week that everything clicked together, everything like made sense. Which week was that for you?
Man, that's hard to pinpoint an exact week,
Okay.
but I would say when you start crossing about the halfway point, really, you really
Week
things
6.
start to kind of fall into place a lot more. A lot of the theories and kind of ideas, and then taking it and seeing some of the paper trading starting to come together better. So I would say as you cross over the halfway point, for some people it might be 5 weeks, for some people it might be closer to 7 or 8 weeks,
Yeah.
but you're not going to let them fall behind and not get a good education from it.
Okay. How did the structure and cadence help you? The fact that you need to meet every week, there's the homework, like this. like the structure and cadence. Did that help anyway?
Yeah, well, first off, what I really liked was that every class, you had each person kind of pull up on their screen what they had done, and you either said, okay, that was good, or no, that was wrong, and let's figure that out. And I had a lot of that was wrong initially. And so you really reinforced kind of what you were teaching in the class to the next class. And then there was some repetition to make sure things were clicking, so to say, for people. So that was really good. I like the size of the cohorts. I'm not sure if everyone only had the four-person cohort, but the four-person cohort size I thought was really great. I also like the fact that people were from like all over the place and from different backgrounds, and I thought that was kind of interesting and cool. So that
Different
was all
countries
great.
too, like different
But
regions, not just in the US. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I thought all that was great, and you get to hear different people's kind of takes on things and what's going on and what they're looking at stock wise.
Okay, cool. How did I help as the mentor? Like, how did I support you? If there are two, three things I did well, what was that? Like, how did I help?
You drilled into issues when you saw them. You helped make up some classes. Like I think, me and one of the guys missed a class or two, so you held a private class for us to get us caught up. I thought that was really great. And, I just thought the way you kind of checked in on everybody's progress, it was really good.
Okay. What would you say to someone who is on the fence about joining this mentorship program? And remember, it's an investment as well as it's a lot of time, and they don't know me. So, what would you say about these items, which are all legitimate items for somebody who's thinking
I,
about?
I would I would say like this. Um, to invest a couple $1,000s into an education, for a lot of people can be a decent chunk of change. But if you look at it as a long-term kind of investment, and you're kind of dedicated to ultimately creating some revenue or some long-term kind of capital for yourself, the money's not the biggest deal, and hopefully you can find it within yourself to pay for it. If you take a normal class at a college, you're going to spend, in that same ballpark just for one or two classes. And this is probably like an accelerated kind of situation when it comes to like a college class, in my opinion. So I think it's a good investment overall. And I think when it comes to just knowing Fadi, he's a genuine individual. He's not somebody who's out there to make a quick buck off you and then just kind of like close the door on you, so to say, and not try to support you. And the materials that you kind of go through in class, you can go back and you can look at them through the Legacy Wealth Builder kind of a website. And so
Yeah.
therefore you can kind of review some of the stuff, even not tomorrow, but in a month from now or 2 months when you want to kind of rehash some of the topics and some of the fundamentals if you're having some questions or anything like that. So
So
yeah, I think overall it's a pretty good investment.
overall you're happy and satisfied.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I enjoyed the class nonetheless, even if I
Okay.
don't buy tomorrow live stocks.
Okay. No problem. Do you feel that the program delivered on its promise, meaning showing you how to do investment in a way that is a little bit low risk to protect your capital, getting something like 24 to 36% ROI only by putting 10 minutes a day? Overall, did it deliver on its promise?
I think so. I think that one of the things that you really stress is conservative investment basically, so people safeguard their capital. And so while there might be some strategies out there that claim to get greater returns, they come with greater risk. And so I think the main point that you were trying to show people is that you can make, 24% or, returns annually safely with good technical analysis, good strategy, and good investment kind of, game
Okay.
plans.
Do you feel that after the 12 weeks, you have the ability to continue investment? By the way, did I try to sell you another program after this one?
No, you didn't mention anything else.
Okay, so I don't have another problem. So do you feel, because usually some people do that, like they give you a course, but you really, if you want to do this, there's another course they have to take. So overall, after this 12 weeks, do you feel that you have the ability to continue investing with a strategy? Like, did you like the idea that we start with paper trading and then when people are comfortable, they go move forward?
Yeah, I actually like the idea of paper trading until you feel, comfortable kind of going in with real cash. I feel that right now I probably could go ahead and start live paper trading. I feel pretty comfortable with
Live trading, not like paper trade, live trading.
yeah, live trading. Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel comfortable with what you taught us, and I appreciated it honestly because it's a unique kind of skill, and so it can be hard to come by yourself.
right. If you had to sum up your experience in this program in one sentence, what would it be?
Uh, Positive, educational, and enjoyable.
Okay, got it. Would you recommend this program to others? And if so, why?
If you're learning how to trade, if you want to learn how to trade the style options, I think this is a good program because oftentimes when you go it alone, you kind of go down different rabbit holes. You make poor choices. You may not understand certain fundamentals. You may take more risk than you should, especially early on as a young trader. And so this program kind of helps you stay inside of a good fundamental kind of investment strategy.
Okay, beautiful. So if you go back 3 months from today, would you do it again? Are you happy with your decision?
Yeah, I would definitely do it again.
Okay. Last question. So comment on some of the attributes for people who don't know me. Okay. How do you think about my integrity?
I think Fadi's an honest guy. He's a genuine individual. He actually seems to care about people because I had my own personal issues, and he reached out to me several times during the course and stuff like that. And so I think that he's not just educator, but he tries to mentor and befriend people who are in the program with him.
Can you comment on my patience? Was I patient? Not patient?
Yeah, Fadi's pretty patient, but he does want to get through the material. So sometimes
Yeah.
he tamps down questions.
Okay. So, okay. Good. So overall, do you feel that I was pushing people at some points, but I was patient at some points? Like,
Yeah, no, I felt like, you had a syllabus, you had an agenda, and there were points where there was appropriate question time, for people to open up the floor to question to go through stuff. And sometimes you said, hey, let's get through this. I'll
yeah.
break, and then we'll go back and we'll go with some questions at
Okay.
that point. So
Mm.
I felt you tried to make sure that we were, using the hour and a half time, well. And honestly, what was nice was you didn't try to strictly keep it to a 60-minute or a 90-minute session. You kind of
Yeah.
let things flow. And when they kind of
Yeah.
wrapped up, you kind of wrapped up.
What was the longest class that you guys had? Because in
I don't
some
know, it was a
cohorts
couple
we went
hours,
to
I
we
think.
passed that we passed the 3 hours sometimes.
Yeah, well, there were definitely a few hours. We had some longer sessions, and you just never quite knew sometimes how long they would go. It seemed like
Yeah, I
sometimes
know
they,
because it depends on the number of questions and the time it takes to go through the trades of everybody. So if this take 3 hours, it is like that's kind of the objective.
yeah,
Okay,
definitely had a few longer classes for sure.
yeah, how accessible was I outside of the class?
Well, very nice. We had a private WhatsApp chat and a group WhatsApp chat for the cohort.
Mm,
So he was very accessible just, to answer a private question or to go into a group setting of questions, basically. And so
got it.
it was good. I mean, we're all in different time zones, so sometimes people are asleep when you post something or whatever it is, but
Yeah,
everyone was in communication, and that was nice. And you were definitely in
got it.
communication.
Um, w- was I giving enough time for people? Overall, is the 12 weeks okay, or should it be 10 or should it be 14?
I think 12 is a pretty good number. I think the last couple sessions, maybe we were running, it was kind of like rehashing, kind of just running through people's kind of trades and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But I think 12 is a good number. Could you possibly get it done in 10? Yeah, I think at 10 weeks, we're all pretty knowledgeable and pretty much,
yeah,
on
got it.
par.
Yeah.
But appreciate the last couple of sessions of just getting together and
Review
going through
things. Yeah.
stuff.
Okay, got it. That's it. The last question is just if you can speak for 2 minutes about anything you want to talk about. If you're giving a message for people who don't know about the program, just talk freely for 2 minutes.
I think for a lot of people, it's hard to trust people on the internet. And so I would say, first off, try to always check out who you're going to maybe invest in from education wise. And if you find somebody like Fadi, consider it, kind of like finding a little diamond out there amongst all the crap out there on the internet. And so he's a good person, honestly. I wouldn't say that if I didn't believe he wasn't. He's very supportive. He answers questions. He knows. his stuff, so it's not like he's some educator out here who's just reading from a book and can't actually dive into certain, technical details of different types of things. He also tries to kind of curtail issues ahead of time and not try to go down rabbit holes that aren't really going to teach you something. Sometimes you go down a little bit of a side, side discussion because you're going to gain something from that, right? Fadi's going to try to control it so you're not going down a rabbit hole that's not going to help you or going to confuse you too much, right? He tries to keep you focused and on task and give you information that's really fundamental to this type of investment and, to hopefully you creating some additional income for yourself.
Yaakov, thank you very much. It was a pleasure having you as a friend, not just as a student.
Fadi was awesome. I really appreciate our time together.
Thank you, my friend.